See. All right, so for example, normal alternate picking is, it's a downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. And if you're going to play 4 notes a string, you can do that. You can get it to where you can build up some pretty good speed. You can play fast that way, right? But now what happens if you have to use intervals that are harder to reach, that are far away? So for example, intervals of fourths on guitar are located right above each other. So this looks like I got my fingers all across this, one fret here, and if I wanted to be a fourth away, that's a fourth away from this root note. Now, if I wanted to try to alternate pick something like that really fast, it's really hard to make that happen when it gets really, really fast. And if you want to do that with other intervals of fourths, and the wider the intervals get, the harder it is to do this, to have any kind of control over alternate picking. So there's another way to do it, which involves actually playing through those kinds of intervals almost like you're strumming a chord, which makes more sense. If you're looking at this and I'll turn this off for a second, and if we're going to strum this as a chord, I could play, you hear those intervals really fast right there because I'm just doing one stroke that goes across. If I try to go, I can't do that. I can't individually alternate pick all those notes. There's some people that might have that technical facility, but that's like few and far between. It's really hard to do. So there's a way to create this thing where it's almost looks like circular picking, and you're using chord shapes, and it's you can play through scales and chord shapes that way. So what it ends up being is a downstroke, an upstroke, a downstroke that continues. So you've got down, up, down, down. That has a different sound than straight alternate picking. It becomes, I have to warm up so I can give you some good examples, but what ends up happening is that when you get to these really difficult passages in some of Frank's music that have a lot of fourths, I'm doing this kind of circular picking thing that's through chord shapes. And one of the things that developed out of that too was that a lot of the odd note groupings in his phrases, there's a lot of things that have groups of 5 or 7 or 11 or 13, a lot of these complex phrases, this kind of picking really helped. For example, like something on the black page, really slowly, this is one of the first things that when I had to learn this new picking technique, I would literally have to sit and practice this one thing, the very first thing that when I said, okay, I'm going to do this Zappa plays Zappa thing, this is the first guitar lick that I, set out to learn because it's the fastest part of the black page. And having not warmed up, of course I won't play it right, but I'll play it really slow. The first part of it is, well, actually I'll just play the fastest part at the end, but it's it's a little too loud for me, so basically, again, really slow. So it's manageable at that tempo. I could even alternate pick that if I wanted to, but that's nowhere near the tempo. So I had to keep working on it. So it's basically really fast like that, and it comes from this other line. This part is really tricky too. Whoop. So it goes. So, I'm sitting there, for hours and hours and hours and hours, trying to get my fingers and the picking to work, because there's no way that I could do that alternate picking. And the funny thing is, if you watch on the DVD, if you have the DVD from 2006, the way I play it versus the way Steve Vai plays it, you know, he's flailing around and missing notes and doing stuff because it's really, really, really hard. And then I've compartmentalized it into something that's more manageable, and even he was looking at it going, I gotta work on that.